Hey yo, you're from the neighborhood quarter guy here, and I swear I need a new hat because the discoloration is getting ridiculous. Anyways, it's happening again. My rematch with Paris Alcia on Boss Rage on Twitch starts tomorrow at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. Yeah, the reason I didn't do it last weekend was because most people who are interested in fighting games were watching EVO. EVO is short for Evolution. It is the biggest fighting game tournament in America. Well, series of fighting game tournaments anyway. And while I don't follow EVO that closely, I did manage to see a couple important moments from it. Mainly from watching Max's videos. One in particular was the match in the Guilty Gear Xrd Top 8 between Ogawa Zato and Woshige. One of the most hilarious things ever happened in it. Woshige was like down one round and managed to pull off a spectacular comeback in the second round of the match, only to stand up in triumph, later realizing that the match was not over, but by the time he realized it, it was too late. Ogawa managed to punish him severely, winning that match with a perfect. I mean, it's kind of hilarious. Things like, lesson learned. Don't celebrate a win until you actually win the match. I hear that thing actually got on ESPN. It was that hilarious. You know what would have been even funnier? If Ogawa would have punished him with an instant kill move. That would have been salt-inducing. Also, I heard of an incredible story of the Ultimate Marvel 3 tournament, where Kane Blue River managed to take a team of characters that are usually ignored, those being Hulk, Hagar, and Sentinel, and won the whole thing. I gotta admit, that was pretty amazing. Also, other updates. I've got a lot of progress made on top 10 games I've played on Steam. Next week's countdown is, as I said, top 10 things I hate in video games. I'm taking a break from countdowns in September to prepare for Castlevania month. I've got 4 solo countdowns planned for that. I've got top 10 Castlevania characters, top 10 Castlevania themes, top 10 worst Castlevania bosses, and top 10 Castlevania games. I'm hoping to get that done ready for October, with the final countdown being released on Halloween. Look forward to that. I'm hoping to get it done by then at least. Anyways, for my question of the week, for those of you who follow EVO, what was your favorite moment of this year's EVO? As always, leave your answers in the comments below. I'll display my favorite answers in next week's episode. Here are last week's winners. And with that, time for the fourth wall mailbag. Remember, if you want to send me a question, if you're on your PC or Mac, go to my profile page, go to the About tab, click Send Message, and send me your questions that way. I'll answer my favorite ones on next week's episode. First question this week comes from Henry Whittier, who asks, what are your thoughts on the Batman Beyond animated series? I honestly thought it was entertaining, to be honest. It couldn't hold a candle to the classic animated series. I mean, the 90s Batman animated series is probably the best animated series ever for Batman, and there's pretty much no topping that. But for what it was, Batman Beyond was very entertaining. I liked Terry's character. I liked how Bruce was a good mentor figure for Terry, and some of the villains were pretty interesting. There's also this one scene from the Batman Beyond movie that gets me every time, from Return of the Joker, that gets me every time. It's the part where Terry absolutely tells the Joker big time. It's actually pretty hilarious. Next question comes from Gavion the Gogglechew, who asks, if you became one Pokemon out of all of them, which one that you like to be? First of all, correct your grammar, please. Second, I would probably, well, barring legendaries, the Pokemon I would like to be most is probably Gallade. For one thing, I'm a big fan of swords, and I like Gallade's dual typing of psychic and fighting. And I like his sense of honor, how he prefers to be an honorable swordsman despite being a psychic. Also, I'm taking a line from Josh here, I'm sorry, but the Wolverine elbow blades. Those are freaking awesome. Also, I'm a big fan of Mega Gallade and its design. I mean, seriously. The arm blades look like dual discs. I'm sorry, they just look like dual discs. Yeah, some people think of Seto Kaiba when they see it, but I look at it and think Yuya Sakaki from Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. Ladies and gentlemen! Next question comes from Noni Kent Kanedoy, who asks, as a casual gamer myself, which Mega Man game should I start with? I'm going to be honest here. The Mega Man games that I would recommend starting out with are Mega Man 2 and Mega Man X. For Mega Man 2, it was the game that introduced most of the conventions that became staples of the series. For example, the use of energy tanks, the use of 3 secondary items that eventually had their roles filled by Rush in later games, the 8 Robot Master convention, and in-game saving, though at the time it was passwords, the debut of Wily Skull Castle. Yeah, most of the conventions that were used in later games in the series started in 2. 1 was basically a warm-up, and 2 is where the series began to form its identity more. Mega Man X, on the other hand, is arguably, on a technical standpoint, probably one of, if not the best Mega Man games ever made. I mean, it was what introduced some of the best characters in the series, especially Zero. I absolutely love Zero, in case you didn't know already. Also, the mechanics in that game were probably the best. Simplest, but the best. So, those are the 2 games I would recommend. Next question comes from Megas Zet, who asks, will you be doing a React to video on the Goku vs. Superman Death Battle rematch? A little late for that, isn't it? Besides, I wasn't gonna do one anyway. For one thing, my reactions to previous death battles have been less than positive. Probably because I was focusing on trying to be funny rather than on actually reacting. Yeah, and besides, the existence of that death battle it was a hater response, I have to be honest. It was a hater response. Basically, telling the Goku fanboys why Goku could never beat Superman in a straight-up fight. In spite of the fact that, from a writing standpoint, a lot of people would argue that Goku is a better written character than Superman. The fight scene was pretty good, though. I will admit that. As for the next death battle, which is Donkey Kong vs. Knuckles, I probably am not going to do a reaction to that one either. But I did react to Lesson 0, well, the MLP episode Lesson 0 after I lost to Josh in Smash. I got careless. Mistakes were made. Final question comes from Nightwolf King, who asks, what kind of gaming computer do you think it best to use? I say, as long as it runs Team Fortress 2 well enough, you're pretty good. I never said I was a hardware junkie.